Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal, Divine Messenger, delivering messages to you from the higher realms. Welcome in everyone. Alright, so this is going to be part 3 of my readings for today. It's 11/4. We have our Taurus full moon tomorrow morning at 8:19 a.m. my time here. I'm in Florida. So, anyway, I always tell them where we live. We live in Florida. So anyway, this is the beaver moon. I finally decided to look it up, right? So this is a super moon. So we already feel in the energies of this. As you know, the full moons, we feel them 48 hours out. So about 72 hours with it being a super moon. That's why I heightened emotions. Let me tell you what, I had to run through with Sage through my house today and clear out some energy. 3 of Swords has been showing a lot, but you know what's interesting? This full moon's about closing things out. The last reading that I just did was very powerful about an emperor that finally healed and closed out a wounding. And this could be you, even if you're a feminine. This could be you could have had your masculine sign could have been wounded. Okay, but this is also just a big one for masculines to finally heal out a wounding that has been blocking them from loving. And especially a big one for masculines when they have that wounding of not feeling enough love is they'll have multiple lovers or be in a relationship but not committing, being that player energy. Now I know, let me explain this a little bit. Men and masculines, they do need to have that energy of feeling like the hunt, right? That they can have their choices, that's why I say every man needs to go through that player energy. And if they go right into a relationship and think that that's going to be their forever lover, well, they would probably do better to have some sort of separation at some point so they could explore their options, so they feel like they fully make their choice. Do you know that really solidifies the relationship, really, because it's just relationships, they build off of challenges and struggles, and you really see how dedicated somebody is to you when they're there in the hard times, no? So that's what it really shows, a lot of things, right? So it really, when you can have those separations, it's just if somebody could have their separations, they could go date and go make other options, but then they come back to you, how powerful that is. That they had their chance, right, to have other, you know what I mean? And then now they're not in that wandering stage. They're not in that needing to hunt or whatever. Where am I going with this? So anyway, I was seeing that a lot of masculines have that wounding. Okay, and it so that player energy is really due to them not wanting to commit. They like to keep their options open. They like to do what's easy, and men like to feel dominant and in control. So it's easier to be in relationships with women that will be subservient, that will listen, and things like that. So a lot of times, one that really want to be treated with equal partnership and respect and want long term, those are the ones that the masculines often don't want right away, because that would make them grow up and not be able to be, you know what I mean, bossy and in charge and control what they've been growing, you know what I mean, especially if young men don't get that independence and that, as a childhood, which is hard, which the way that our structure really is, we treat our children, very young. And that's why, with my boys, I try to make them handle things for themselves. I always have at an early age, to make them feel that independence, taking care of things, you know what I mean, instead of mommy doing everything for them, because then it actually makes them. And when they were younger, they didn't understand it. They'd be like, my mom doesn't care, all this, but they didn't realize that I was building them up, right? But anyway, so a lot of masculines, if they don't feel like they get to take charge and control and have all of that because they were parented too much, then they get in this energy of overly needing to be in charge and control and dominating, and they can come off being narcissistic and things like that. So when you run into powerful women and things like that don't want to be subservient and all of that, a lot of times they will flee and they will not want to be in those relationships, because then it challenges them as a man, and you run into a lot of that. Okay, so anyways, what I'm getting at is, so there's masculines that have healed a big wounding, okay, of knowing that they need to be vulnerable and that it's okay to love and all of that, right? So, and depending on how many wounds that they may have, like, I know that I call them wounds and not a lot of people like to identify with wounds, right? But it's like, they're like blocks to stop your soul from evolutionary growth, right? And they're more challenges, they're more things. Like, as we grow, we're evolving our souls. So even though I call them woundings, maybe I shouldn't. They're not always woundings, but a lot of times that's where they stem from. More just energetic blocks. And so anyways, there's this expansion that's going on that's very beautiful. But see, with the moon being very heightened and pulling on our emotions, it really brings a lot of the things to the surface. And as we know, with full moons, this is the time to release and let go of those things. These are the times where the moon will bring these emotions up and they get released. That's why with full moons, heightened emotions and a lot of stuff comes back from the past. And because that stuff, every time, it really tries to bubble up and it tries to come out. It's literally like all the things that you try to suppress, all the things that you try to hide, get brought to the surface with the moon pulling on the emotions, right? Okay. All right. So, all this moon keeps coming out in these cards too. Look at how big and beautiful that moon is. This is the Page of Pentacles coming out, High Priestess. For some, there was a wounding around abandonment, not feeling though they had enough. There could have been woundings around poverty, lack mindset, money, resources, getting left or whatever. Like, there could have been a lot of relationships where masculines, I know I keep saying masculines, whatever, it's how it's coming out, we're hanging on to relationships due to codependency. Like, I'm going to be in this relationship to be with you because I'd rather be with you than be alone. Like, I'm not good enough alone, So there's a lot of masculines that were holding on to things due to codependency. So a lot of them may be getting out of relationships and situations like, yeah, I held on to this because, you know, it was better than being alone. So anyway, a lot of them are feeling like more love for themselves, more able to take care of themselves, and to take charge of control and to not feel like, oh my gosh, if I go after this and I get shut down, like, what will I do? Like, there's just this empowered energy. Yeah, look, the Lovers. Oh, that's beautiful. Like, they're ready for committed relationships. So whatever may have been blocking them from wanting those relationships that are going to put them vulnerable, put them in that needing to be fair, letting go of the my way or the highway, you know what I mean? Like, that is what is so beautiful. I love this energy that has been coming out. Okay, so I was feeling guided to get some love cards for part 3, so I don't want to get pulled away in the tarot. I've already done 2 beautiful tarot readings. You can take a look at the readings. If you don't feel like the love oracle cards are resonating with you, then that's fine. You know, you might just be watching my reading today, and maybe just the first 2 were your readings and your confirmations, and maybe this is for other soul family, so keep that in mind, right? Only take what you feel is for you. So right away, it's showing past love, in the past and past lover. You know, the moon does bring back past lovers and things like that, because like I was saying, with the emotions getting pulled up or whatever. So past lovers could be resurfacing, especially if you have hidden and past emotions that you've suppressed, and all of a sudden now you're thinking about them and feeling them, because we are a collective consciousness, and our thoughts literally are not isolated within our mind. They go out into the alive field, that if you're starting to think about somebody, those thoughts are starting to go out towards them. They're starting to feel it, and they're starting to think about you, and then that's when the phone calls or the running into one another and things like that happen. But it's a beautiful thing, but it's really to close things out. And for some of you, you're realizing that, like, yeah, if you can't let go of a past person, what are these emotions or whatever? Maybe you're starting to realize that a past lover is, you're tied to them very much because you're supposed to be in some sort of union, and that they're your true lover. So maybe you're realizing that, like, yeah, I ran away from a past lover because I wasn't ready. And that's what I mean. Like, if you truly can't shake somebody, there's some sort of bind, there's some sort of soul tie, and if it's not something you can clear out, you know, but maybe you're realizing, like, was this a trauma bond? You know, and I do say that trauma bonds, even though you align with somebody over a trauma, sometimes you align, but you guys aren't ready to be with one another because of that wounding. But if you can heal that wounding, then sometimes you can come together and have a beautiful union. Okay. So communication is coming out here. Yeah, some of you getting ready to communicate with the soulmate. Look at this. Spiritual growth. So for some of you, you've advanced spiritually. Look, expanding the soul. Just like I was talking about, for some of you, you've expanded your soul. So now maybe it's calling this back in. So things can come back around, right? But see, you have to discern. You have to feel where you are, because like I said, for some of you, it could be past lovers are coming back because surfaces are getting brought back because of wounds, right, that you're releasing. And sometimes you're just thinking about things because you need to release it, and sometimes you just have closure or needed to say things or whatever. So it could be something like that, and it's also unions on the table as well. Okay, I don't like to get into the descriptive character cards. Like it's a courting man, uniform, like somebody could be in that, but see, not everybody. So I don't like to go into the character or the character traits or whatever. See, like it's showing mature woman and things like that, but see, just basically there's this energy of like, you know, maturity. Whoa, baby, twin flames is coming out. And I talked about this in the last reading. For some of you, you're realizing your twin flame was a catalyst to prepare you to love yourself, for you to come into union with yourself to your highest level lover. So for some of you, you're calling in kingdom spouses and you're realizing that. So for some of you, you could be getting out of twin flame connections or relationships, realizing that those were kind of the codependent relationships that you were finding yourselves in, and you no longer need to be in those because you're ready for your high level lovers. And for others of you, maybe you're clearing out some things with past lovers or with other lovers that you were with to close things out, where you're coming energetically aligned back with your twin. That's why I say the twin flame journeys are so different and unique. Some are literally meant to be together. There are some powerful twins that are literally, the twins were literally meant to be catalysts for one another, for them to teach each other to come into union with themselves, right? Because for some, there's different missions. There's different levels to them too. Like recently I've been getting guided to the different level twin flames, like Moaic or Monaic, a type of twin flame journey. Maybe you should look that up. You can look up the different tiers, the different style twin flames. We've been getting more and more information's been coming out on them. So for some of you, yeah, you don't have just a standard twin I'm getting. Look, they're showing me mature man and courting again, or mature woman and a courting man again. I don't know, but like I said, I don't always like to call those out, but they came out twice now. Passion has shown twice. So this is going to be a very passionate connection. See, release and control, taking power back. Like I said, for some of these masculines and stuff, they're coming out of needing to control and dominate. Children and destiny came out together. Wow. For some of you, you're meant to have some children. It's part of your destiny. It's meant to be building some family, because this is the mother card here too that was being shown, and this is a pair, Ice King and Ice Queen. So these are definitely divine energies. Divorcees coming out on this card, and detached. Like for some of you, you could be getting out of marriages. Like I said, it's collective. Okay, so take what you feel is for you. But for some of you, you could have stayed in connections due to children, I'm getting. So for some of you, like, you're realizing that, yeah, I'm not going to stay in something just for the children. My destiny lies elsewhere. Okay. All right. I feel like that's enough with the Mira's love cards here. Okay. I wanted to get a few more from the Tangled Love. So like I said, if you don't feel that any of these fit, then none of them are for you. You got to trust what you feel, right? Did I do the tarot already? I can't even remember. Yeah, I was pulling some tarot, right? Oh my gosh, this doesn't matter. I only have 2 minutes available anyway. Okay. 1646 available for this reading, and we have 1424. Those numbers that could be source code numbers, some keys and codes to look up for more guidance for some of you. All right, I don't want to shuffle too long. All right, I just seen pictures. Somebody could be looking at your pictures. Look at this. For some of you, it's over for real. Closure, inner peace, and moving on. But what's interesting is that came out right next to the 1111, which is the twin flame card. So for some of you, you're realizing that your journey with your twin is over, right? You're not in alignment. And for some of you, look at this: activation, twin flame soul contract, divine timing, synchronicity. So some of you, a relationship could be over with somebody else because now it is time for you to come into union with your twin. Okay. Let's get some more from Tangled Love for the collective spirit. Vibes in sync. Energy match, same page, flow together. Yes, and that's literally what you're doing. When you finally release control, you don't hold on to things for conditions, and you realize that you're going to flow energetically to what you're aligned to, and then that's, you know, like, stop putting labels. That's what you have to do. You have to really surrender the twin flame journey, whether, because if you might be in the camp where your twin you're not meant to be with because you have a kingdom spouse to be with. For others of you, it is your twin and you're holding on to a past life lover you have a strong bind tie with, right? So releasing it, because somebody's been being stubborn, right? Bossy, selfish, guarded, inflexible, and lacks empathy. Maybe that's for some of you that are letting a relationship go. We got coming clean, confessing, opening up, being truthful, and raw emotions is coming out. We got real reunion here, back for good, pure joy, and soulmates reconnect. That's what I say. There's energies all over the place here. Whatever you feel to take for your message, do. Otherwise, leave anything out. And we've got spotlight here. Somebody's about to be in this spotlight. Popular platform, and a narcissist loves attention. And this is somebody that needs to constantly be in the spotlight and attention we're getting to. This is somebody where you could be realizing that, yeah, if I'm not doing it anymore, I'm going to pour that love into myself. So